From Ego to Heart, Part 4. Opening up to Spirit. We have distinguished 4 stages in the transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness. 1. Being unsatisfied by what ego-based consciousness has to offer you, longing for something else, the beginning of the end. 2. Becoming aware of your ties to ego-based consciousness, recognizing and releasing the emotions and thoughts that go with it, the middle of the end. 3. Letting the old ego-based energies inside you die, throwing off the cocoon, becoming your new self, the end of the end. 4. The awakening of a heart-based consciousness within you, motivated by love and freedom, helping others make the transition. We will now speak of the last stage, which is stage 4, opening up to Spirit. When you have entered stage 4, you have found a place of peace and quiet inside you. You frequently find contact with the silence in your heart that you know is of the eternal. Everything you experience is relative compared to this unlimited and all-embracing being. This place of peace and silence inside you has also been called Spirit. In your esoteric traditions, the distinction is made between spirit, soul, and body. The body is the physical dwelling place of the soul for a limited amount of time. The soul is the non-physical, psychological anchor of experience. It carries the experience of many lifetimes. The soul develops over time and slowly grows into a many-faceted stone of beauty, every facet reflecting a different type of experience and the knowledge based on it. The spirit does not change or grow in time. Spirit is outside of time and space. The spirit in you is the eternal, timeless part of you that is one with the God that created you. It is a divine consciousness that is the foundation of your expression in space and time. You were born from a realm of pure consciousness, and you carried part of that consciousness within you throughout all your manifestations in material form. The soul partakes of duality. It is affected and transformed by its experience in duality. The spirit is outside of duality. It is the background against which everything develops and evolves. It is the Alpha and Omega, which you might simply call being or source. Silence, outer but especially inner, is the best entrance to experiencing this ever-present energy, which is you in your deepest core. In silence, you can get in touch with the most miraculous and self-evident thing there is, Spirit, God, Source, Being. The soul carries memories of many incarnations. It knows and understands much more than your earthly personality. The soul is connected to extrasensory sources of knowledge, such as your past life personalities and guides or acquaintances on the astral plane. Despite this connection, the soul can be in a state of confusion, ignorant of its true nature. The soul can be traumatized by certain experiences and therefore remain in a place of darkness for some time. The soul is continually evolving and gaining understanding of the duality inherent in life on earth. The spirit is the immovable point within this development. The soul can be in a state of darkness or enlightenment. Not so the spirit. Spirit is pure being, pure consciousness. It is in the dark as well as in the light. It is the oneness underlying all duality. When you have arrived at stage 4 of the transformation from ego to heart, you connect with Spirit. You connect with your divinity. Connecting with the God inside you is like being taken out of duality while remaining fully present and grounded. In this state, your consciousness is filled with a deep but quiet ecstasy, a mixture of peace and joy. You realize that you are not dependent on anything outside of you. You are free. You are truly in the world, but not of it. Connecting with the Spirit inside you is not something that happens once and for all. It is a slow and gradual process in which you connect, disconnect, reconnect. Gradually, the focus on your consciousness moves from duality to oneness. It reorients itself, finding that eventually it is drawn to a silence rather than to thoughts and emotions. By silence, we mean fully centered and present in a state of non-judgmental awareness. There are no fixed methods or means to get there. The key to connecting with your spirit is not to follow some discipline like meditating or fasting, etc., but to really understand. Understand that it is silence that brings you home, not your thoughts or emotions. This understanding grows slowly as you are increasingly aware of the mechanism of your thoughts and emotions. You let go of old habits and open up to the new reality of heart-based consciousness. Ego-based consciousness inside you withers and slowly dies. Dying is not something you do. It is something you allow to happen. You surrender yourself to the dying process. Death is another word for change or transformation. This is always so. Death is always a releasing of the old and an opening up to the new. Within this process, there is not one single moment in which you are not, that is, in which you are dead by your definition. Death as you define it is an illusion. It is only your fear of change that makes you fear death. You are afraid not only of dying physically, but also of dying emotionally and mentally during your lifetime. But without death, things would become fixed and rigid. You would become the captive of old forms, a worn-out body, outdated thought patterns, limiting emotional reaction. Suffocating, isn't it? Death is a liberator. Death is a cascade of fresh water that breaks open old, rusty gateways and propels you into new areas of experience. Do not fear death. There is no death, only change. The passage from ego-based consciousness to heart-centered living is in many ways a death experience. The more you identify yourself with spirit, with the God inside you, the more you release things that you used to worry about or that you used to put a lot of energy into. You realize on deeper and deeper levels that there is truly nothing to do except to be. When you identify with your beingness instead of the fleeting thoughts and emotions that pass through your life is affected immediately. Spirit is not something abstract. It is a reality that you can truly bring down into your life. Being in touch with this purest of sources will eventually change everything in your life. God or source or spirit is by its nature creative, but in ways that are nearly incomprehensible to you. Spirit is silent and perennial and yet creative. The reality of the divine cannot really be grasped by the mind. It can only be felt. If you allow it into your life and you recognize it as the whispering of your heart, everything slowly starts to fall into place. When you are tuned into the reality of spirit, the silent awareness that is behind all your experiences, you stop pushing or forcing your will upon reality. You allow things to fall back into the natural state of being. You become your natural true self. This all occurs in a harmonious, meaningful way. You experience that things come together in a way that has a natural rhythm, a natural flow to it. All you have to do is stay tuned into this divine rhythm. Let go of fears and misunderstandings that make you want to intervene. Helping others from the level of spirit. When you have made the transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness, you are more or less continually in touch with the divine flow of being inside. In this state of being, there is no need or desire to help others, but it comes naturally to you. You draw it to you, but not through the will. Energetically, you are now emitting certain vibrations. Something is present in your energy field which draws people to you. It is not something you do, but something that you are. There is a vibration available in your energy that can help them get in touch with their own divine self. You can be a mirror to them in which they can see a difficult problem or condition actually being released and transformed into the energy of the solution. They can sense the energy of the solution which is always founded upon contact with the divine self in your being. You are able to teach them something, and the teaching takes place by you being yourself. It is not by you transmitting knowledge or using certain methods that you teach and heal. It is by allowing yourself to be just who you are, and by expressing yourself as you find most joyful that your presence becomes truly helpful. It is by sharing yourself with others that you make available a space of healing for them that they may choose to enter or not. That is up to them. As a healer or therapist, you really have only to keep in touch with the divine inner flow, with the silent awareness that is spirit. It is really this connection that moves people and lifts them into a higher, freer state of awareness, if they choose it. If they do, it will occur in a rhythm and flow that is their own. Being there for others in this way was a very neutral feeling tone to it. It represents a level of detachment where you release your personal desire to change or cure others. Such a desire, displayed by all light workers at some stage, does not stem from a true understanding of the inner road that people want to travel to find their own truth. Most people need to go to the bottom of certain issues before they are truly ready to release them. When they do so, they really own the solution to the issue, and this gives them deep satisfaction. Perhaps you recognize this within your own life and the issues you struggle with. Please be aware of this, and do not struggle to keep people from hitting bottom. If they are determined to go there, they will go there in spite of all that you do or say. It is better to not be emotionally involved with the people you help. The emotional involvement invites in a personal will to cure or transform others. This personal desire does not help others. It may actually cause blocks in their healing process. Whenever you want people to change, you are not in a space of love and allowance. They sense this. You may think that you are observing and reading them, but they are keen readers of you as well. In stage 4 of the transition from ego to heart, it is about transcending the level of the soul and rising to the level of the spirit. We do not mean to say that the soul is in any way less than spirit, of course. The point is, you are greater and more encompassing than your soul. The soul is a vehicle for experience. By identifying with spirit in you, with your divine self, all the things that you experience in many, many lifetimes fall into place. You rise above the experiences by not identifying yourself with any one of them. This has a healing effect upon the soul.